The Kremlin's ally, Viktor Orbán, may have lost the Hungarian election, but there's no sense of panic in today's Russian papers, although Moskovsky Komsomolets does concede that the EU is over the moon at Mr. Orbán's defeat. In offices in Brussels, they're probably breaking open the champagne. Of course they are. They've got rid of Europe's #1 rabble rouser and taken a dig at America and Russia. But they'd better not drink too much champagne. After all, there are lots of bubbles and gas, and not the kind Europe needs so much after its rupture with Russia and the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. And when this joyful hangover passes, the real picture of post-Orbán Hungary might not look so rosy. Peter Majar is not at all a liberal left-winger, though he promises to restore broken ties with the EU. But will the American conservative hamburger of Trump turn out to be more attractive for Majar than a dried-up Brussels sprout? That's the key question. The paper is encouraged by what it calls Mr. Majar's realism and pragmatism, which he openly demonstrates, recognising how important Russian energy supplies are to Hungary. Why did Viktor Orbán lose the election? The Russian government paper Российская газета has this explanation. What went against him was the length of Orbán's time in office, unprecedentedly long for Central and Eastern Europe, 16 years in a row, and 20 in total. There's always the fatigue factor, growing tired of the same people. This is psychologically understandable. Interesting to hear this from the government paper of Russia, a country whose own leader has been in office for 14 years in a row, 22 in total, actually more than 26 if you add to Vladimir Putin's time as president his stint as prime minister. The paper notes that Peter Majar has already said he plans to have dialogue with Russia because it is necessary in the interests of Hungary. You can see from the toned-down language here that even though Russia's close ally lost the election, Moscow is hoping to develop a working relationship with Hungary's new leader. A political scientist tells the government paper, Majar is no radical. He never advocated for anything out of the ordinary. I doubt that Majar will go so far as to break off energy links with Russia. This is simply contrary to the interests of Hungary and its business. There will certainly be changes, but this process will not be fast. Time will tell how bilateral relations will develop in these conditions. Now, did I say tone down about the language? On the subject of the planned €90 billion EU loan to Ukraine, one commentator tells Komsomolskaya Pravda that if Hungary approves a military loan for Ukraine, we should cut off oil and gas supplies to Hungary. We should stop oil and gas diplomacy. Otherwise, we end up supplying energy to those who end up fighting against us in Ukraine. Also, the defeat of Viktor Orbán does not mean that Moscow will stop looking for allies elsewhere in Europe and for opportunities to sow division there. This commentator already has his eyes on Bulgaria. The result of Bulgaria's election this Sunday will be interesting. Former President Rumen Radev, a Eurosceptic, looks set to win. So even without Orbán around, there'll be questions for Brussels. And there are others too. Orbán's departure cannot stop the hidden battle inside the EU. Kommersant, with Majar's victory, no major changes should be expected in relation to Ukraine or Russia. Both friendship with Kiev and a rupture with Moscow would contradict Hungary's national interests. Many positions that Hungary has adopted will stay the same. Finally, to the joke section of Komsomolskaya Pravda. When you find yourself in a calm moment, without any cares or worries or problems, don't kid yourself. This is life simply reloading the gun. And this is the joke section?